What an exciting kickoff to one of the largest marble series on YouTube. That's right, the World Grand Prix is back at it once again. Welcome everybody, I'm Alex B, the head play-by-play commentator of M&H Racing. This is going to be the largest World Grand Prix we've had on M&H Racing history, with a grand total of 32 competitors. And for a bunch of new countries such as Madagascar and Nigeria, this is their first time competing in the famous marble sporting event. All the 32 countries will be competing in a single elimination tournament, so the winner will be moving on to the next round and the loser will be eliminated. You can see here only the most loyal fans are allowed to watch the race live today due to the novel coronavirus. And we are rolling! Indonesia and India kicking off our first race. And I think Indonesia's got the slight edge. He's gonna keep it down that last spiral and into the Jubilino track. There they go, down those zigzags. Down the balancing act, Indonesia's still keeping a slight edge. Is he gonna keep it? Yes, he will. The main challenge for these competitors is certainly the end. If you hang out too long in that area, the other competitors can take advantage. Match 2 now, Thailand and Argentina. Argentina being a competitor since the 2017 World Grand Prix. Thailand getting the lead into the second half of the sky rail, and he's going to be getting it in the Jubilino. There they go, down the zigzag, down the balancing act, and what's this? Thailand absolutely blew his lead, and Argentina is going to take it. I don't think Thailand was mentally prepared for today's race, and as a result, he's going to be eliminated. Match 3 now, Colombia and Nigeria. Nigeria getting the lead down the first spiral, down the second, down the third. Colombia struggling to keep up. Nigeria still keeping his slight edge down the spiral and into the Jubilino track, down the zigzag. Nigeria struggling a bit down the balancing act as well as Colombia. And if he can keep his lead, no he's not. Colombia is going to take advantage and be the one moving on. That's just a prime example of why hanging out at the end is far too risky. France and Madagascar now. Madagascar absolutely blowing his lead, and it's going to be taken by France down the second half of the sky rail track. Both going down the Jubilino now, down the zigzag. France now, both struggling on the balancing act. France was our winner of the Winter World Grand Prix. Is Madagascar going to take it back? No, he is not. France is able to fight back in that last half and take the race. And one of the things I think is absolutely most important is staying calm while also moving at a fast speed. You have to be prepared physically and mentally to be in the World Grand Prix. Vietnam and Mexico. Mexico has been our most successful country, but it looks like he's being beaten now just ever so slightly by Vietnam. Vietnam's still going to take it. Down the zigzag. The balancing act. Mexico able to free it no problem. And Mexico absolutely wasting no time and taking the race. Rumor has it that they could be taking steroids all this time. Russia and the USA. USA getting a slight lead against Russia. Down that second half, USA definitely one of the more popular countries here in the World Grand Prix. USA down the zigzag, down the balancing act, clearing it no problem, and I think he's going to take it if he can survive the end, and yes, he will. He did struggle a little bit, but was able to escape just in time before Russia came in. Australia and South Africa now. Neck and neck there down the first helix. Australia getting it down the second and the third. The second half now. Australia still keeping it. There they both go down the Jubilino maze. South Africa looks to be catching up a little bit. And South Africa's going to take it down the balancing act. Both hitting each other, but Australia, he's still going to come out on top. It's that end where the two sides come together that really makes this track unique compared to the other tracks that M&H Racing has to offer. Match 8 now, nearly halfway in round 1, South Korea and Germany. South Korea getting the lead down the second helix. And it seems like if you get the lead in the Quercity track, you've got it until the Jubilino, but you got to complete the balancing act and the zigzag. And South Korea gets stuck, which allows a wide road for Germany. What a huge upset and delay. That's going to get Germany into round 2. Spain and Chile now. Chile getting the lead. Oh no, it's going to be taken by Spain. Still pretty tight. Chile trying to keep up to Spain. Still pretty neck and neck. Oh, Chile's going to catch up in the Jubilino maze and is going to take it down the balancing act. Spain struggling there. And Chile is going to take it. Was struggling to keep up to Spain, but was able to keep his cool in the Jubilino track. Now the Czech Republic and Ireland. I don't recall the Czech being any World Grand Prix. This is all certainly new for the country. Czech still in the lead. What an amazing performance for a first timer in the World Grand Prix series. Czech still keeping it. Oh, and what's this? We have Ireland, who was trying to cut corners. And that is definitely not allowed in the World Grand Prix. Yeah, you can see there just jumping off the edge. And that is a disqualifier right there. He was out of bounds, so the Czech will be moving on automatically. Canada and Egypt now. Canada also a well-performing country in this series. But Egypt still got the lead into that second helix. Canada falling further back behind. There they go, Jubilino maze down the zigzag. Egypt struggling to clear that balancing act, and they're both neck and neck, hitting each other in the final leg, and Egypt is going to beat out Canada. What a big disappointing upset for the Great White North, folks, not even passing round 1. And I believe he made the top 3 in the 2017 World Grand Prix. The UK and Qatar now. Qatar, a new country in this series. And it seems like the rookies are really outperforming the veterans. I'm not too sure what they did in preparation for this marble race tournament, but it sure paid off. There goes Qatar, absolutely clearing the balancing, no problem, as well as the UK, but is struggling in that last part, and the UK is able to take it. Big upset there for Qatar. You can hear the fans are really disappointed by his efforts. Philippines and Brazil now. Philippines getting a great lead down that first helix. Brazil's really going to have to do something in the Jubilino maze if he wants to take this win. Philippines has been a well-performing country in the past. Philippines struggling, but able to free it. And Brazil is not even going to complete it. It's like as if Brazil knew he was going to lose right then and there and just decided to give up after the balancing act. In these marble sports, it is 90% mental, so if your mental game's not on point, you're already lost. Italy and Belgium now. Belgium, another new competitor. But unlike the other new rookies, Italy is taking care of it himself. Down the zigzag, down the balancing act, clearing it no problem. Is he going to clear the last half as well? No, it's going to be Belgium. Man, I really jinxed what I said at the beginning. Belgium, another rookie, is able to beat out one of the veterans in this World Grand Prix. Netherlands and New Zealand. New Zealand, another rookie, neck and neck down the second helix, down the third. Still a tight one down that second half. Netherlands getting the utmost slightest lead into the Jubilino. Down the zigzag. Ooh, Netherlands still keeping it. No, it's going to be New Zealand down that last half. And New Zealand is going to take it in a photo finish. That is one replay worth keeping. You could see there New Zealand actually bounced off the Netherlands, and that gave him a picture-perfect shortcut into the finals. Japan and Malaysia now, our last round in round 1. Japan getting the edge there against Malaysia down that third helix into the Jubilino. Down that zigzag. Balancing act, Japan struggling as well as Malaysia. Both in that final part, and Japan is going to be taking our last spot. Wow, 10 minutes in, but it only feels like 2. And with round 1 complete, half of the marbles are eliminated and half of them are still standing. They're really going to have to up their game if they want to get into round 3. Indonesia and Argentina. Indonesia getting the slight edge down that third helix. Still going to keep it down the second half. I think Argentina might be catching up just a slight bit. Down the zigzag, down the balancing act. Indonesia was struggling a little bit there. Able to keep it though, and is also able to clear the last stretch, no problem. Match 2 now, France and Colombia. France able to get a boost down that first helix, and because of that, he's got a pretty good lead down that second half. Don't mess with Colombia though, you can tell he's starting to catch up a little bit, and it's neck and neck down the Jubilino. Colombia gonna take it down the balancing act, and France having a mental mistake and is going to lose at the very end. Wow, France keeping the lead in the first half, but Colombia destroys him in the second. USA versus the champion Mexico now. It's neck and neck, but I think the States have a slight edge. Yes, they do, into that second helix. Into the third, down the Jubilino. US still getting a good lead down the zigzag. Down the balancing act. Still gonna keep it, but takes too much time in that last part, and Mexico is just gonna take it. The US fans are not gonna be happy about this, folks. I think he was trying to taunt Mexico over there, but instant karma's really got him. Australia and Germany. Germany getting the slight edge. No, it's gonna be taken by Australia. Still neck and neck. Still tight with Australia keeping the slight lead into the Jubilino. Down that zigzag, down the balancing act. Germany now going to take it down that second part of the Jubilino. And Germany, nice body positioning, blocking Australia. That's one of the best skills you can learn in a track like this. If you know how to position your body at just the right time, you could win pretty much every race. Chile and the Czech. Man, the Czech is really dominating the veterans today. The second time he gets into a long lead. Down that zigzag, down the balancing act. Ooh, wasting too much time, and Chile is going to get the advantage. Czech coming back, both weaving in and out, but Chile takes the lead and will move on to round 3. Round 6 now, Egypt and the UK. Neck and neck in the first helix, but Egypt able to get a good lead down the second and the third. Down the second half. UK is really going to have to do a lot there in the Jubilino maze, or hope for something lucky such as Egypt getting stuck, and that's not going to happen. Egypt still getting his lead, but just like the States, had a bit too high of an ego, and it's going to cost him the win. I have no idea why the competitors still do this, even though it's been proven that it does not work. Thought Egypt would have known by America's mistake. Maybe he was too busy playing Fortnite. Philippines and Belgium now, round 7. Philippines still dominating the track against Belgium. And it's a great start for him down the Jubilino. Down that balancing act, clearing it no problem. Down that last part, and again, that's the second time I see a competitor taunt the other when they have a huge lead. That was a very risky move there for the Philippines, but lucky for him, Belgium just missed the sweet spot, and he was able to take him back. New Zealand and Japan will be closing out round 2. Japan getting the lead on the left track, and is going to be getting an even larger one in the second half. A good position there down the Jubilino. And New Zealand's going to have to hope for some kind of miracle. Japan clearing the balancing act, but will he clear the last part? They're both weaving in and out, and that's the third time I see some kind of taunting going on. And I only expect it to continue as we head to round 3. 8 marbles now remaining. Hopefully Mexico has enough steroids to beat Germany and potentially move on to the finals. And with one stop closer to the finals, we definitely have to up our game with a new track. Our first marbles competing on the track today are Colombia and Indonesia. Colombia going to take it down the first mazes, down that ramp, and into funnel number 1. It's a tight one there. Both not sure who's going to make the first move. It's like in a wrestling match, you have to predict what the other competitor is going to do, and then you can counter it. Colombia, though, decides to make the quick move into the first pinball funnel. And yes, we've brought the rare Gulp pinball racer back at it again. Still neck and neck, but I think it's Colombia that has it. Both skimming the edge, and yes, Colombia just gonna take it with Indonesia going on his tail. Still a tight one, neck and neck. Oh, Indonesia's got the inside corner, but Colombia counters it. If you know what you're doing in these funnels, you can predict your competitor's move and then counter it as a punishment. But Colombia now taking the defensive route since he's got a good edge and he's going to keep it into the pinball dish. Now the main goal is not to get stuck, and that's exactly what he does. And Colombia is going to take a ticket to the semifinals. Match 2 now, Germany and Mexico. Mexico's going to get the slight edge down the mazes. Germany almost stalling. That would have costed him right then and there. But Germany's able to catch up to Mexico in funnel number 1. And it's neck and neck. Germany put it that way, while Mexico had a good lead in the mazes. But who's going to make it down this funnel first? And it's going to be Mexico. Germany right behind him, but makes a crucial mistake there on that jump and makes a life-threatening fall. We've called the first responders to help him out, and it looks like he's going to have to get marblerace to repair the injuries. Match 3 now, UK and Chile. UK getting the lead down the maze. Chile, oh, he's going to take it down the third maze and into the ramp. Those marbles have to make crucial decisions when they go down those mazes. Do they take the safe long route or the short risky route where you could potentially get stuck? And Chile took this risky option and it paid off. Skimming the edge now, and Chile still going to keep it down into that first gulp funnel. And you can see the consequences that really kick in if you don't make that jump. Chile in defensive mode as he gets the lead. He just has to prevent the UK from getting in first. And that's exactly what he does in that first funnel, and is going to get first down the second. But it looks like the UK's put things neck and neck, and I believe he does. They're both skimming the edge. Who's going to take it? It's still going to be Chile, but it's still a very tight match. The fans for both countries are going wild. This is about as intense as it gets here in marble racing. Is it going to be UK or Chile? It's going to be the UK getting first. He just has to clear that pinball dish now. Both bumping around, and the UK is going to come out first and gets our third ticket to the World Grand Prix semifinals. The last match now, Philippines and Japan. Philippines certainly a feisty competitor. And Japan, wait, both of the marbles get stuck in the maze at the same time. We're going to have to do a redo. And this time Japan's not going to be getting a lead. In fact, he actually wasted precious time down those mazes. Not looking good for him. I think that race abort has really took a toll on his mental state. Japan, though, still able to fight back in that funnel, and he puts the race neck and neck. If I could get an MVP, it would be definitely for Japan. And Philippines going to be getting first, and Japan getting a great hit there on the Philippines. And they both go neck and neck. Oh, I think Japan's got the edge now. Just goes to show how you can still bounce back even if you have a bad start. But Philippines takes it away in the second pinball funnel. Also goes to show that you can also have a comeback. Philippines now keeping the inside corner as they inch closer to that second part. And he's going to be getting a good lead now into the third pinball funnel. What happened to Japan? He was doing well in those first two funnels, but I think he started overthinking things once the Philippines took it in the second dish. Philippines trying to keep Japan out and skimming the edge, and he's going to take it into the pinball dish. Bouncing against that center. Japan has a chance to take it back. Will he do it? No, he's not. And the Philippines will be continuing their excellent performance into round 3. Well, hopefully excellent, because usually this is the time where the pressure just gets too strong on the competitors. That's right, folks. It's the semifinals with only 4 remaining. First up, we have Mexico and Colombia. Neck and neck down that first and second helix. but Mexico is able to take it down the third and into that Planko maze. Colombia going to take it down the Jubilino maze, and Mexico really struggling in that funnel. And this gives Colombia a good lead into that second Jubilino funnel. Jubilino funnels are extremely unpredictable because of its unique bowl shape, but Colombia is tackling them no problem. Wow, Mexico far behind in a World Grand Prix? I've never heard of this before. Mexico finally clearing it, but Colombia still keeping its excellent performance into that last funnel before the spinners. Will Mexico be able to take it back? There goes Colombia skimming the edge and takes home the race, and Mexico will not be getting in the top two. But you could tell there Colombia's hard training paid off. He definitely knew how to maneuver those spinners, just striking the outermost point of the spinner, because if you go on the inside, well, you're in for a rough ride. Philippines and the UK now battling neck and neck in the first and second, but the Philippines are going to get the lead down into the maze, and I think, no, it's going to be the UK getting it into the Jubilino funnel. Philippines striking right back, going to be getting it into the second funnel, and clears it in record time. UK just entering the second funnel, while Philippines just skimming the edge of the third and is now in the fourth funnel. Philippines really has to make a massive screw over to lose this race. He is well ahead in the lead. Gets bounced like crazy by the spinners, but is able to get the win. Philippines did not spend as much of his training in the spinners, you can tell. Concentrated more on the funnel aspect, and that is why he was probably able to clear those funnels like no problem. Third place now, Mexico and the UK. Let's see who takes it. Down that second helix, neck and neck. I think Mexico has the slight edge. Yes, he does. Against the UK, down that Planko maze. And he's still going to keep it down that first Jubilino funnel. There goes the UK now, battling out Mexico. Mexico's giving the edge, but United Kingdom put it neck and neck and is able to take it from Mexico. Mexico making the hit, neck and neck once again. Who's gonna take it? It's still gonna be the UK. Wow, really keeping up to Mexico's intense pressure. Not many competitors can really handle it. There goes Mexico. He might be able to get third place, which is certainly better than fourth. You still get a medal, but there goes the UK. Still getting beaten up by the spinners, but it nails him the victory and the bronze medal. If you do end up getting beaten by the spinners, you really have to strategize on where you go so you can let the spinners either help you or defeat you. Now with the finals, it's a best of 3. The first marble, the 3 wins, is going to take home the Spring World Grand Prix champion. And the Philippines is really dominating that first Skyrail track, but Colombia is going to take it into that first funnel. He's got to be prepared for Philippines games though. You could see what he did in that last race. Philippines putting the race neck and neck, both skimming the edge. And it's going to be Philippines into funnel number 2. Colombia looking for that opening, and he's going to get it, beating out the Philippines into funnel number 3. And it looks like Colombia also trained really well in the funnels and is able to beat out Philippines in the third one as well. Now he just has to conquer that last funnel to win first place. Is he gonna do it? He's skimming the edge, yes, but gets obliterated by the spinners. And Philippines is going to take race number 1. Colombia fans are sure not happy. We all thought he was going to get that win, but gets knocked out of the field by that spinner. And a report from the ground now, Colombia looks to be injured and will have to be looked at before the next race can continue. And it looks like he's good to go, folks. But will that injury affect his performance? Looks like it's not going to so far, but the Philippines is really putting a hinder to his lead. but he's still able to keep it. No, it's going to be Philippines into funnel number 1. It looks like his injury didn't impact him in the sky rail, but in the funnels, he's really slacking. Philippines getting a good lead though into funnel number 2. I think Philippines is really taking advantage of it into that 3rd. Colombia really falling behind, a huge disappointment. I think it was that one race and that injury that really impacted his ability to focus. Philippines skimming the edge. He's just going to have to get past those spinners, and no, he doesn't. Colombia still has one last chance, but he really can't screw up now. Philippines really desperately trying to get that victory. Colombia is going to get in now and pushes Philippines into the finish. I have no idea what was going on in Colombia's mind. First getting the injury, close to giving up, and I guess that was the nail in the coffin. The final results now, Philippines going to take home the 2019 Spring Grand Prix, Colombia getting a well-deserved 2nd, and the UK will be finishing 3rd to beat out Mexico in the top 3. And here comes the most rewarding part for our hardest working competitors, the award ceremony. It must feel good just knowing that your months of hard training paid off at the end of the day. And there goes Philippines taking home the top spot of the podium, followed by Colombia and United Kingdom. That wraps up another World Grand Prix here on M&H Racing. Follow our social media down below and subscribe because we post new races every Friday. Stay tuned for the last round of the Escape Corona tournament next week.